Hey everyone, it's B411 again, along with Silver Spoon and Boomer. This is the Stanley Cup Playoffs of NHL 26 on EA Sports. This is the last game of night number 2 as it all comes down for the final 2 teams in the first round. We've got the Ducks and the Oilers here at Rogers Place. The matchup, as we were noticing before, after a big win for Tampa Bay, that one leads off to an error for Montreal, and they couldn't get it right away to have that one stalking him down. The only thing that this causes happening with the miscommunications on the miscues for Montreal in the third period. But however, the Lightning are starting to get all their energy facts for hope. This is definitely what happens with that, and you cannot let it get away with this to try to hope for the win. But now, therefore, the last part of the game is going to be another American versus the Canadian team. And standing by, I have is Terry Crews. He's also along with Battery and the center ice of the box. We have no other choice what we have to go with, but the only thing now is we were only leaving it off to be one thing important about. And that being said, it's just not what we are really expecting to see this, but only the change we'll have to do for real, Union Jackie. Because that's the only thing that we really keep in the center box, and that's a great way to try to look for the player's highlight to have it all for the finish. And here are the starting goaltenders as Connor Pickard for the Edmonton Oilers, and for the Anaheim Ducks, we have is Lucas Dostal as starting goaltender for the Anaheim Ducks. Here are the starting X-Factor players for the visiting team of the Anaheim Ducks. We have our big combination to have it all coming down. John Carlson, who has a heavy rocket on a heavy slap shot, he also has a send it pass, the speeding boost, and the breakout pass. Leo Carlson, who has a pressure tee and the tape zones with the precise and powerful passes. Troy Terry, who has a quick release in the pressure and the tape zones. Miguel Granlund, the transfer from the Sharks, and now he is able to play off with the Ducks with a send it pass and the tape zone. Jacob Trouba, who has a relentless destructive shoulder checks. Mason McTavish with the quick release in a no contest zone. Then it's Radko Gudas with the relentless hipster and warrior. And then across Chris Kreider, the big rig and a big tipper for an effective net front deflections. And Alan Zellweger, Ilya edges and send it, and Pavel Mityukov wheels and send it pass. And lastly is Frank Vitrino. Pressure, spark plug, and speed boosting with the hit. Let's go over to the other side of it, as now it's all for Edmonton. Connor McDavid, one of our big stars of the Canadian Players franchise, who has scored over 1,000 goals. He's got wheels with the elite edges and the ankle breaker. He really has shown it oftenly, the whole in point. The good thing about Edmonton is that Edmonton Oilers has chosen to be Connor McDavid's one of his best legendary contracts, and he's definitely had his extension to help him out with others. Same thing also goes with Leon Draisaitl, but this time he has a quick release with the backhand beauty. Then it's Evan Bouchard, who makes that rocket and a 1T motion. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with the tape-to-tape and the quick pick zones. Matthias Ekholm with the stick-em-up and the quick pick, along with the warrior resistance. Zach Hyman, who makes a big tipper in a no-contest zone. Then along with Jake Malman, the wheels and the rocket only makes a heavily slap shots and skating speed. Then it's Darnell Nurse, Trulentis, and the Warrior. And finally, all says Jack Roslovich. Tape-to-tape zones is powerful than you think. So that's it. Looks like the last game is going to definitely be all for anyone for the Ducks and the Oilers. And now let's get started for our final game of Night 2. Oilers and Ducks are ready. And it's coming up after this. See you folks later, folks, for the intermission report and the post-game show. Now let's get cracking. Wild game in Edmonton. Hi everybody, I am Terry Crews and I'm here with Battery and Union Jackie to center ice for tonight's game. It all goes with the final two of the games after the Lightning and the Canadiens. They meet Oilers and Ducks since 2017. Let's do it! Start off goaltenders is Lucas Dostal, and for the Oilers is Connor Ingram. Lacombe will start off here for the Anaheim Ducks as he will have that pass and broken by Zach Hyman. Here's Mattias Ekholm, will find Hyman, and a pass over sends to McDavid. David will start off around the net and looks to Savoy. This one will reach out of the zone. Hyman will find Ekholm. Ekholm looks to Hyman, trying to get to Savoy. Here's Hyman to find Ekholm. The dish over to Bouchard. Here's Savoy. For the backhander, big save by Dostal. Right over the other way is Alex Killorn for Anaheim. Big startup happens to be like this. And just when you think about Lucas Dostal, that is a one start-off save. It doesn't mean that he really had starting to do for anything. My dad is for the Oilers. They got a good start with the chance. Rebound by Spence. And as Ingram, he will have it off across the wall, and he finds it over to Mattias Ekholm. The Oilers beginning their line group change off, and back in the Anaheim territory is Murphy. That's off the stick by Dostal. He looks to Nurse, now finds Kapanen. Right to Nurse. Nurse with the backhander, try to hit it off. Rebound by Nurse. Nurse will send it over to Kapanen. Kapanen looks to Nurse. Nurse shoots! Glove save by Dostal. 16:32 to start in the first period, as no score starts it up between Edmonton or Anaheim. One thing about the big save, it happens to be Dostal, and it only just gives so much of the energy. This really has to have Dostal with the time-focused strength. That really is a hard save to start off for the Edmonton to have that big backhand beauty. A lot of time left to be played in this period. Oilers and Anaheim are big to undertake as no score in the first. Big win by John Carlson, and he looks over again to Kreider. Kreider with the backhander blocked up by Ty Emberson. He looks over to Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl round the net, and rebound taken away. This will set out of here and will be an icing. Back to Woolman. Edmonton will bring a new group. They'll send a pass to Ty Emberson. This pass almost broken it up. Anaheim trying to clear it out. There'll be an offside for Edmonton. So I know what you're thinking about it before. For Edmonton and the Ducks, they've been playing it since 2017. How do you really see afterwards for Connor McDavid as he struggles it? Well, I don't know. This is what everyone has been really seeing it because Ty Emberson really had took it all in a big hit. When nobody matters, his crowd is a big standpoint. I mean, you have to see when you don't really play offensively. The only thing about Montreal is it's just enough. The strategy doesn't mean to start off, it has to be with Edmonton. Hard to do for it, hard to train, and you really got to start getting a lot of focuses. Edmonton is really one of the better teams over Anaheim. Because without any great players like Silverberg, that's where they're going to start off to have some new change-up to keep it from going. The outside of it doesn't really need to stagger the point of it, but I know what everybody might have to do for it because whenever what Anaheim is starting to feel like and Edmonton's starting to feel like for a hype up, this energy will be the crowd noise level to have it regaining a momentum. Big pat save by Ingram. Rebound up by Murphy, and now the Oilers will take a new line group change. Razovic in the zone. He'll fire it around the net. Given by Gudas. Troy Terry. Backing up is Adam Henrique. Murphy finds off to Frederick. Frederick shoots off the blocker by Dostal. Murphy finds off to Nurse. Nurse shoots and saved by Dostal. Rebound by the Anaheim. And Dot's taken away. Here comes another big offensive zone. Back to Murphy. Murphy trying to call for help. Mattias Ekholm on the outside of it. Looks at Murphy. Murphy shoots, deflects it up, and saved by Dostal. Will freeze the play with only 12:05 remaining in the first period. We'll have another puck drop ready. Dickinson's really trying to do all of it. The only thing that really has to matter of it is a big hit. That one hits off a poling that badly. Hard one stays the put, but now I will send it over to Union Jackie for the start off of Connor McDavid. Thanks, guys. About Connor McDavid, he has really been standing out, and he is one of the biggest and a captain for the Edmonton Oilers. He really has started off to make it strong afterwards, to have his own time effort when he plays it for his long-waited a year of the season. The only thing now is Connor McDavid has to do is some big wheels offense and try to have that pass off of the tape zones. He's one of a franchise, and one of the demons are really up for the hunt. Connor McDavid should look forward into the first goal, and hopefully that first assist is going to start off in the postseason. Let's see how they can handle it for Connor McDavid and the others. Back to you. Thank you, and Jackie. Now have it over to Zach Hyman. He looks a bit sharp, finding McDavid. He shoots! Stopped by Dosso. You'll hold things up here with only 11:01 remaining in the first period. And we'll get another puck drop ready. Center's slided in Edmonton. And they're starting to look for a face-off win between Edmonton or Anaheim. Win for McDavid. He finds Bouchard. Bouchard, Savoy shoots, stopped by Dosso. Rebound by Hyman. Another big save, stopped by Dosso. Kudas with the rebound, and now Anaheim will have it. They are out of the way. McDavid, stopped by Dosso. Oh my goodness, that Dosso has huge you up with the stop. With only 10:23, you have no idea how happens to Lucas Dosso. He turns it over, and one thing for sure, they really have put in a hunt. This hungry moment happens to be the link, and for McDavid, and the big save of it happens to be Dosso, and McDavid would have a choice to have it tipped back in. He could have had that one quickly. A lot of time left in the period as we pass the midway mark. It is still no score. McDavid wins the draw. Bouchard, Echo. Here's Savoy, given up by Leo Carlson. Troy Terry on the rush. Knocks him down right from the gate. And back to Bouchard. Bouchard sends the pass off to McDavid. McDavid spins around. He shoots one. That chops off of the stick and rebound by Savoy. Bouchard decides to get to McDavid. McDavid looks to Ekholm. Here's the void shot, stopped by Dosso on the quick timing effort. 9:21 in the first period. Still a lot of energy to get from Anaheim or Edmonton. Let's go back to Union Jackie, and this time it's Chris Kreider. Chris Kreider is really on his stamina, and his performance has really been a long way jury. The one thing that we're really doing it for is some hard-off keep zone on the attack. The great way is that he really is starting to give a lot of intentional scoring effort for the bigger drive, and what we need to know about it now is that Jacob Trouba is trying to make a lot of good connections from Chris Kreider. That's one way to have that one severed out, and one way for the other hand is giving it all from here. This is one of the big motion here, guys. I'm looking forward about Chris Kreider has. Take the tape zones. This is definitely what everyone has been seeing is to believe it. Back to you, Terry. He misfired it, and it will go right around the net as Kapanen will have his own regroup. Yeah, that start off has to be out of the way, and nobody has ever done it for, and they're really going to need to try to fix it. Here's the pass to Nurse. Nurse will send off to Dickinson. Dickinson, the pass to Roslovich on the shot. Rebounds and directed. Stopped by Dostal. 7:31 in the first period. And they are still trying to get a deflections with the first goal for Edmonton. Jake Wall's pretty good at it. You'll definitely will have to start looking for a semi-blast on the shot. And a win by Carlson. Here's Jacob Trouba the other way for Anaheim. Gillorn knocked him down. Rebounded by Nugent Hopkins. Here's Sinek. Sinek in zone. Given by Nugent Hopkins. And a shot off the glove again by Ingram. Scoop up along the board by Ty Emberson. He'll send it deep over to Nugent Hopkins. Hopkins moves it off. Fires it. Blocker save up again by Dostal. Emberson looks to Wallman. Wallman to look to Roslovich and a fire shot off again on Nugent Hopkins and rebound by LaCote. Leo Carlson sends off to Sinek. And Jacob Trouba will have a pass over to Killorn. Killorn shot chopped up and will hold the cover by Connor Ingram with under 6 minutes in the first. No better score in the drought. 85 over 80 passing effectiveness. They're down by 5 on the percent for the pass. Yeah, I mean, they're really starting to lose it all. I mean, no better strength. I mean, it's no tight competition off. I mean, the passing is okay, but it really need to be trying to work it off. They've got to step back in the game. Otherwise, they don't have the right motion. They can't get a cut, and that's going to definitely change it off. Here's pulling and rebound by Savoy with 5:10 remaining in the first period. Opening drive taken away, and we'll have to leave it offside for Anaheim Ducks. It will stop it with only 5:02 in the first. All feelings about Olen Zellweger, and as he's trying to look for his first attack motion to have his first assist or get his first goal, you might have it all to do it. Yeah, I mean, Zellweger is really all the hard choice that he's doing it. But anybody that does for Zellweger has to be the credit to do for any. Plenty of action here. I know this is not what Edmonton Oilers are starting it for, but when you're playing this for the offense, that's definitely going to change all of it to do for one. Here's Draisaitl. He shoots. It's blocked up by Carlson. Here's another pass by Pulling. You'll now find Zellweger with only 4 minutes in the first period. Draisaitl. From the wing, he'll snap back over to Ekholm. Bouchard fires off the glove. Rebounded by Edmonton. It's kicked out. Zellweger the other way for Anaheim. And here's Paul Kolskin. Now finds the Bouchard. He'll send it over to Draisaitl. Edmonton back to Kapanen. The Oilers are trying to have some new line group change for the Oilers as Murphy tries to give off the pass to Draisaitl. Kapanen fires a slap shot. That's with the rebound. That's also blocked. Dodge finds Murphy. Murphy looks over to Nurse. Nurse gets chopped up and a rebound by Dodge. Doesn't know where the puck went as Dostal will cover it in. 2:34 in the first period. And they're looking for a puck drop for Anaheim. Henrique wins the draw. Here's Murphy. He shoots off and saved by Dostal. Here's Frederick. Shoots one in. He scores! Adam Henry. They strike the first period. 1-0. That's the start off for Adam Henry. He really had tipping it back in. Now as that saving rebound happens to be on Dostal, and that's Frederick tries to get it, and this rebound was Adam Henry. You cannot stand the crowd as Adam Henry gets given it back in toward his head. And that one brings it up, and it goes passing right by him. You know, this is definitely when we are really seeing this, as Adam Henry keeps scoring it off, and that motion is going to take over it. And Adam Henry, he took a swing and took him right behind from the goaltender. So the Oilers start out with a 1-0 lead nearing the 2-minute mark in the first period. And first goal in the playoffs of 17:42 time on a goal. What a big moment. Murphy, pass off to Nurse. Nurse will start it off again to Frederick. Gudas with the rebound finds Dimitrikov. Chris Kreider flings it around the net and rebound by Murphy. Murphy slings it off. Dimitrikov broken it up the pass. Troy Terry in wing, trying to look for a cut but the shot blocked by Nurse. Chris Kreider to find a Lacombe. Lacombe pass to Terry. He gets knocked down. Dodge trying to help it, and Murphy will skate out of here. Under a minute remaining in the first period, he finds Dodge. Pass broken again by the Anaheim Ducks. Chris Kreider will set it around the net as Bouchard will have it. Kicks over the exact timing. And Iman will have another regrouping effort with only 20 seconds in the books. Bouchard fires it, caught saved by Dostal. We'll take a wait from here. It's still a 1-0 Edmonton. First intermission is coming up with you shortly after the first period. As Edmonton's starting it off with a bigger drive, they hunt in the first period and they're starting to look for some heavy attackers and try to help them out. First intermission's coming down with just 5 seconds. And another blocker save by Dostal, and therefore we end the first period. Edmonton Oilers starts off with Adam Henry. First goal in the playoffs. We'll take a quick break in the period, and we'll be back for the second in Rogers Place. Be back with you soon after these messages. Hey everyone, welcome to the first intermission of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs on EA Sports. It's me following along with Silver Spoon and Boomer. It is a quickness and fast skating speed. One change is over as Edmonton finds Adam Henrique his first goal in the playoffs against Anaheim Ducks. Let's go over your facts about it for you, Silver Spoon, at the total statistics in the first. Well, the only thing definitely had it all coming down is some big face-off wins. They are evened up. This is definitely what they are really starting to get all the strategy in there. I know it's not really easy enough for Anaheim Ducks to try to get that winning face-off strategy, but whenever you do, Fuller, that's another take. The big example question is of how Anaheim Ducks will try to keep that scoring in from the race, and probably that everybody will have to try to keep it clear of Edmonton. And as for Anaheim, they're starting to look for that first goal to have it knocked down with the Stammer. It might be hard enough to try to keep that one out, but whenever I say about Anaheim, they really are a good team. 15 over 13 hits and 89 over 81. Let's go over to the action trackers on the other side of it. That is a big monster hits for Anaheim Ducks as they're really trying to smash that one out. Connor McDavid had done them with the faceoff wins, and this rebound only happens to be right from the crease end of Adam Henrique. How do you feel about that? Well, this is for Adam Henrique. Edmonton Oilers on a start. Let's have your total statistics and what's your summary inbounding for the Edmonton Oilers for you, Boomer. Well, that happened to be Edmonton Oilers. They're really starting to get spammed out, and that only with the hit, they put it as wonderful. They start doing it with the opponents, and you got to get back into the offensive strat territory. This line group is going to definitely try to change it all. And let's see about the Anaheim Ducks. How do you feel about their being playing comfortable with this so far? Well, I know that Anaheim Ducks really are just trying to keep up into the right ability, but the only thing that they got to do is get to help his coach from their offensive strategy and the defensive zone on the strategy. This line is not going to be easy enough, and they really have to be they got to start making new changes. That's definitely what they have to do. They cannot let it leave out. And whatever Anaheim Ducks, they're going to have to start getting 10 goals. They got to have to tie it up anyway. And what's your take on that one for the second period after that? 1-1, Anaheim and Oilers. It's going to be a tie game. I'm going to say 1-1 as also. I think it's the Ducks that are going to tie it up. So let's see how they answer it. All right, going back to Edmonton is Terry Crews as we end the first intermission here. Let's see who gets the next goal between the Oilers or the Ducks. See you folks later for the second intermission. Welcome back, folks, as we're ready to get started for the second period at Rogers Place. 1-0 Edmonton start. Here we are. Second period begins now. All right, as I will take it over to you, Battery, let's see what your total statistics happen to be in the first period. Well, this first period had to be like a start-off for it. I mean, it was pretty okay. I mean, but the Edmonton Oilers are really starting to pass that one around here. Obviously, for most of the offense, they really are starting to take care of it. The most thing is the better circumstances that they're really doing it for, and the Oilers are really starting to kick up a notch of it. They're really starting to do it for some first offensive zones. This big drive happens to be anybody that can be playing it for real. I'm really telling you now that, Terry, what everyone's doing is watching how they pass and shoot it. That's what Edmonton Oilers, they got a good start. Here's that goal right in the zone. Save made by Dostal. Rebound by Savoy. And his Hyman will now find Savoy again over to Bouchard. Pass to Ekholm. He shoots. Save made by Dostal. On the full pressure. Stop by Dostal. Here's Alex Killorn as now the Anaheim Ducks will change some new line groups. Rebound by Darnell Nurse. He now finds Murphy, and he looks over to McDavid. McDavid pass over to Pakulzin, and it's taken away by the Ducks. And there will be a delay penalty of the game, and they're going to be bringing the goaltender off the ice. Oh, that start's going to be very nasty motion. Not a great start. And Connor McDavid is in a
Edmonton has a 2-minute cross-checking on number 97.
I can tell what happens with this one, but Connor McDavid did something that's not right. He made a push, and that's off of Lacombe, trying to get away with it, and that is definitely called the inner cross-checking. You cannot play it for the captain to start off like that. Connor McDavid's penalty is up, and as the Anaheim Ducks will start their first power play advantage. Power play is going to be definitely really hard for it, and as now, Edmonton Oilers are going to need to start doing some little regrouping now. They just need to sit it out and get it out of the way. Because if they get the something that's not totally right, they can't let it lose it. That's the Anaheim Ducks.
2-minute penalty on the cross check number 97
Connor
McDavid. Stopping penalty in the second period of the playoffs, 2 minutes and 50
He'll
seconds.
swing it out of here, off the ball, and it goes over to Kapanen as he crosses across to Bouchard. Fouling for a loose puck as Kapanen will shoot it deep. A chance for the shotgun to play is stopped made by Dostal. Here's Carlson for an Anaheim Ducks. Stopped by Mattias Ekholm. Evan Bouchard will take that swing and have it cleared out, and it's stopped by Kreider. Kreider in the bell. Fouling on Mattias Ekholm, and he will clear that zone out, and he will dish it out of the zone in the Edmonton territory to Anaheim territory. Carlson finds Goffer. Gauffier, right top of the wing on Nurse, moves in front, save by Ingram. Great start here for the power play as Ingram will hold it on, and another puck drop is ready to go. I start out Nurse, he has the True Line Assist and the Warrior resisting, he makes a pain relief, but it more likely in the case takes defense on the smash. Yeah, something a defensive smash. I know that Darnell Nurse, he's really trying to get all this better standpoint, and whatever happens with Darnell Nurse, he makes a huge, tremendous hit. This quick timing is definitely going to get defenders to a blocking check. That's definitely going to be a long way down to keep that zone out from playing dirtiness to achieve that out. That's definitely what happens. You know, it really does have it all. Time running out for the Ducks. Zanecki, puck over the blue line, he'll be an offside on the Anaheim Ducks. Just 15-17 in the second period and only 7 seconds for the Ducks power play. Miguel Granlund hasn't scored it in a power play goal and hasn't found himself to get a first lead. Just to cut it down with the even. Granlund blocked a shot by Nurse and will stop by Nurse. And out of the penalty box is McDavid. Taken away by Lacombe as the power play expires. Only one thing to notice is how that Connor McDavid had a little bit of a little unlucky take. That definitely may have hurt somebody, but when he tries to get out to Lacombe, that's definitely a dirty, nasty look. You cannot play it that's defender, that's dirty, and you cannot play it like this out of the way. You need to be more respectable to try to keep that out. By the time up in the period, it is still Edmonton 1 and Anaheim nothing. Win by Granlund. Here's Carlson. For the Ducks, he pushes up, finding Chris Kreider. He looks to Granlund. Granlund shoot, glove save by Ingram. Anderson goes to Razovich. Here's Razovich to pass over, finding Nugent Hopkins. It's broken away by Leo Carlson. Zellweger finding over to Troy Terry. 13:50 remaining in the second period. Ty Emerson with the rebound. Takes a swing, goes back to Nugent Hopkins, and he looks to Razovich. Razovich looks to Wallman. Big blocker, beauty stop made by Lowstall, and it's now Kreider. Sends over to Pulling. Pulling shoots blocked by Savoy. Savoy's got that rebound. And no penalty here, and this will be a cross-checking. That's going to be Pulling, and he took that blocking shot afterwards. Yeah, after this block, and then no, what's what you don't see. That hits up a Savoy, and that's going to be the first power play for the Edmonton Oilers.
The Oilers are on the power play!
And I'm Ducks with the first penalty kill, and the Oilers will start their power play advantage. You know, the skill needs to be afterwards, and nobody else is trying to watch on it. That happens to be with only the Oilers to have it keeping it in. They're better favorite than Anaheim. They've got to watch for trouble. Here's a second to Sean Money Hyman. Backhander save by Dostal.
That's 2 minute penalty.
Weaver here, and we'll stop the play with only 12:51 in a second, and 1:49 on the advanced power play for the Edmonton Oilers. Nugent Hopkins wins the draw, and it's McDavid. We'll have to reset it again, and we'll have to try to make a new different change. Washi, that's given by Alex Killorn. Taken away by McDavid. Bouchard has it over to Hyman. Oilers back in offense zone. Tries out to Nugent Hopkins. He cannot find his open look, and it's defended by the Ducks. Clears that zone out. Connor McDavid will now make a new change. McDavid on the rush. Wheel zone to Draisaitl. Tries to go over to McDavid! Way too deep! And he will have to reset it again to Draisaitl. Here's a set. Henrik shoots! Rebounds up! Paul goes in with the rebounding effort. They're still going. Echo pushes it out. Mueller will get it out of here. Washing coming for the Ducks. And that's Draisaitl will have it. He now finds Matthias Echo and he looks to Adam Henry. Henry, Echo, puck goes in. Poked it for the defenders on the Ducks. 30 seconds for the Oilers power play. You'll get a clear out of it. As Wallman will have a new change-off for the Oilers. Edmonton back in offense, trying to puck goes in. Time running down. Looks to Savoy. Again, a puck goes in. Wallman shoots one, hits a save by Dostal. Police almost have to get out of here. Stop made by Dostal. This stops the play with only 11:05 in the second period and 3 seconds for the Oilers power play. Leon Draisaitl will have a little bit of a quick discussion here. And it's Nugent Hopkins, he's trying to show it off. And a win by Carlson, and that will end the power play for the Mighty Ducks as they're back on full strength. Well, that only happens to be a big save of it. And the defenders, they've done it really clearly. That doesn't really mean that they can definitely try to keep on going afterwards. Draisaitl's really doing so well. But for McDavid, I got to watch that one carefully. And that way, you can definitely try to shoot it or take it dependable. McDavid, that blocks up, big save by Dostal. Leo Carlson now has it over to Poling for the Anaheim Ducks. End zone action, picks Pat, stop made, almost went to an unlucky bounce in the net, but that stays out. Good thing, it just didn't make the score to tie it. Big save by Ingram. Trying to pull it up for McDavid. He looks over to Nugent Hopkins. This one clears out for the Oilers. Draisaitl will get another big save by Dostal. Jacob Trouba again to Granlund. Anaheim back in the Edmonton territory. Looks up Granlund. Quick glove save by Ingram. We passed the midway mark in the second period. It's still 1-0 Edmonton. I know what you see like Lucas Dostal. He has one of the hugest save. I mean, his quick motion is a time reaction. When this right really took it off, this is definitely what Dostal is going to get back up to and get a good save of it. He really had showed it up. That's a red alert. You have to be out here quickly as you can. You don't want to make a mess of it. A lot of time left in the period. It was only under 9 minutes in the second period. Henry will win the draw. Here's Nurse the other way. The pass over to Frederick. Frederick. In corner. Back outside is Murphy. He'll find Nurse. Sends to Murphy. He'll look to Frederick. Frederick shoots glove save by Dostal. 8:20 left in the second period. It's still 1-0. Anaheim trying to look to tie it up. In Anaheim territory, the Ducks are trying to get this face-off win to get out back on the ice. Henrique wins the draw. Murphy, Nurse, hits off in a Warrior, pain resistant. And when we set to Murphy, here's Frederick's shot. That's blocked up by Henrique. Terry finds Granlund. Oilers will get it out. A new line group change is now Murphy. Will try to take a swing of it, and he will enter that out of the zone. Sends it deep to Frederick. And it's given away by Chris Kreider. Here's Miguel Granlund. All alone. Big glove save by Ingram. 7:07 remaining in the second period. Still 1-0. And you know that Connor Ingram, he really had that huge takeoff. That doesn't really mean that it's one huge save, but that only changes, he's got it all down. A lot of energy action here going on between McDavid and Anaheim. As for Leo Carlson trying to look for another big face-off win. Now they win it. The back driving on a shot, big save by Connor Ingram. And outside is Matthias Ekholm. You'll find over to Savoy. We're under 7 minutes in the second period as Savoy will find him again to Bouchard. Bouchard waits outside of it, finding to Mateus Ekholm. McDavid shoots one, and a save made by Lucas Stolstall. Alex Killorn will send it the other way. That is one nicey motion. Big save is going to keep on inbounding. And definitely when you don't really see how that happens with Lucas Stolstall, that is another save. You got to give that credit. Edmonton back in the offense zone. Fouls that one around the net. McDavid's got one. Put a rebound. And it will not get enough in time. That will stop by Dostal with only 5:40 remaining in the second. A lot of big fans in the building for the Edmonton Oilers. It's still 1-0 lead over Anaheim. Dallas Fulling will win the draw. Here's Golfer for the Ducks. That gets knocked over, and Ty Emberson will have the pass over to Pakolzin. Here's Leon Draisaitl for the Oilers. Trying to rush it free, finding over back to Draisaitl. He looks to Emberson. Emberson looks to Pakolzin. And he'll trip it back again to Emberson to look to Draisaitl. Draisaitl in with the shot block, and back to over to Lakobe. Mason McTavish against Wallman. He'll try to find a move. His shot block is on Jake Wallman. He has it over to Wallman again, and now finding to Emberson. Fast under 5 minutes in the mid-period. Leon Draisaitl, the pass over again to Wallman. He looks to Roslovic. Roslovic pass to Emberson, and a backhander, big save by Dostal. Leon Draisaitl again to Emberson. He looks to Roslovic. That backhander, pick pad, save made by Lucas Dostal. Pakolzin, save, he scores! That's Thierry Pakolzin! It bumps it up, and it goes right back to the net. Well, here's what happened with that. And Thierry Pakolzin, he just got nipped on a shot, but then something happened with the Anaheim Ducks. That goes off the stick of the Anaheim Ducks' bowling, and hockey stick is deflected off, and that one reached out of it too soon. That one messed it up. Back clearly back with the turnover, and that doesn't get a good start out of it for the Ducks. They definitely cannot handle it all, but that one is really hard to try to keep that in. So Pakolzin with his first goal in the playoffs, they've now got a 2-0 lead for the Edmonton. Now Murphy will swing it around the net. Here's another one to Dickinson. He looks to Nurse, finding to Nugent Hopkins. He looks to Murphy. That's stick lifted. Rebounded by Gudas again. Broken by Nugent Hopkins. Here's Roslovic. The pass over to Nurse. Nurse looks over again at Roslovic. Again to Murphy. Murphy swinging in tight. Now finding a Nurse. Under 3 minutes in the second period, he finds Dickinson. Here's Murphy finding the Nurse. Nurse finds Murphy. He shoots one. Deflected off of the stick, and it goes back again to Veal. Veal for the Ducks. He's on his way down. Moves in front. Saved by Ingram. Murphy will have it again to Jack Roslovic. Roslovic keeps it alive and finding Dickinson. He goes for it. Another stop made by Dostal. That's really another turnoff to have another goal. That's going to be like 3-0. And man, Eagles going to have that great chance for the Oilers. They're really going to try to keep that up.
82nd period playoffs.
Watch that.
First goal of the game.
What will he do? And he scores.
Darnell Nurse in the second period.
His first goal in the playoffs, and he now got their Anaheim Ducks on the board. 2-1 game. Just leaving it out to be. I mean, the ending of it, holding up to Subiwashi, and then goes right with the shot. I mean, I'm going to take a shot. And then this point, he tries to look for it, and he said, okay, I got it in. And then that is a great goal. That's for passing by Connor Ingram. And now the Ducks got themselves on the board. They cannot let it loose down if they're going to take it. So we're nearing the final minute in the second period as you got the second intermission coming up for you shortly. Once the first intermission is already concluded, we will send it off to second intermission after the second period comes to the end. This one stops and Frederick Anderson brings the puck and will be offside on Edmonton. Still a lot of fans in the building to see the Edmonton Oilers win. Anaheim trying to catch down by one. They're down to a final minute in the second period. Here's Carlson. He should save by Ingram. Rebound by Frederick as he looks over to Ekholm. What a great save. Connor Ingram had done it again. I
Number
see the
98,
call, and it's on the
Ravel,
Edmonton
Victor
Oilers with under 30
Domino
seconds
in
in the
today's
second
49
period.
seconds in the second period. In Washington's
Bearing
first
down
goal of the
here,
playoffs, first goal
it
of
is
the day,
90 over 83%
Terry,
with the
and
passive
Ravel making
effectiveness
off in the second
as the
period.
Edmonton Oilers
And
are
18
trying to
39
look
seconds
for
in
a
the
win
playoffs.
on the faceoff. Carlson wins the draw. He rings the goalpost. That ricochets out of here. And here's Frederick the other way. Oh, they wouldn't see it going afterwards. That puck is going to definitely go out, and he will not be here for tonight to have it tied up. Frederick chopped it up, and therefore we end 2 periods here. It is 2-1. Anaheim down by 1, and Oilers lead by 1. This is definitely where we are seeing it before. Only Iwashi has given the first goal in the playoffs. Third period is next after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, it's another big intermission report as we welcome you to the second intermission of the Oilers and the Anaheim Ducks. We've seen that this is big on takes, but as now, Edmonton Oilers have taken a slant lead over the Anaheim Ducks. It is 2-1 after the second period. Both things are not always real, but as always, the Anaheim Ducks are trying to look for the answers back into the net and try to get it tied up in the first game. And with that, here's how they did with these total statistics after the second period. The only thing happens with is the Anaheim Ducks, they rolled in pretty much of a big hit over 23 on Edmonton, and it was 90 over 84 passing effectiveness for the Anaheim Ducks. They're really sure enough that they were keeping it out of danger. The pretty much of its side of it is just turned out to be how terrific they were doing it for. But as for Edmonton Oilers, they really stamped it out. Both guys have a 2-minute penalty kills, and nobody had a power play goals. That only happens to be said is, if they try to look for the goal, that's definitely what the cause of it might fear. I don't know if this is going to keep happening, but that really might have been a stammered out. And here's what the total statistics goes with the action tracker on the other side of it. As going over from the Anaheim Ducks and of the Edmonton Oilers, Connor Murphy has 2 assists in the playoffs and only had 1 shot opportunity. 1 goal only Tim Washi with this one is the first playoff goal for the Anaheim Ducks. Now let's have your take here, Boomer, about the Edmonton Oilers. They started to get the assist down on board. I know exactly what I meant to say about this. Edmonton Oilers are really filling up the heat. You know, no pressure would ever do for things, but I got to say, you've really got to have a great start of it. You have to show a lot of respect to it. Edmonton Oilers are looking for the first win to face against off and beat the Anaheim Ducks. So they're definitely the overrate teams that try to push all their pursuit. I mean, I got to say, this was a hard challenging that they ever do for. And let's go over to the other way for the Anaheim Ducks as they got them on the board. It is already a 2-1. How do you see it afterwards? Well, I mean, I don't know if they're really starting to persuade on this, but anything that you really see this for the Anaheim Ducks, they're really trying to do all their motion. No big change of offense would ever do for things that happens to be the Anaheim Ducks to hold with a big hit. That's definitely what it causes with to try to go back and offensively on the drive. But as for being said of it, for Anaheim Ducks, they really may have some answers to get up into a tie in the game. Is a great way to have it in Edmonton. This is where it's going to be the start off, and hopefully this will answer it all. And let's say, what's the third period going to be after the game? Well, I'm going to say it's going to be 3-2, very close enough, and no competition would do anything better for Edmonton Oilers. They must be the win for Game 1. Yeah, it's going to be 4-2, and I'm betting this is going to be Anaheim Ducks as they took it over with the lead. And maybe if this is not the right choice, then I'm going to say the Edmonton Oilers are going to win in Game 1. So that's my option. All right, let's see what it takes in the third period as I send back to Terry Crews for the start of the third. See you folks later for the post-game show after the game, and we'll see who gets the next goal to be in the 3 stars. Bringing home the third period in Rogers Place as we're ready for the puck drop. And this one has been a wildest one of the game, but therefore there'll be answers in the third if they can hold things out. All right, Battery, let's have your takes in about the second period recap with a tight game, close one. Washi's first goal in the playoffs. And the rebound happened to be with Edmonton. Well, I'm sorry not to see this. I mean, it never minds anybody, but as you can definitely imagine this, that the Oilers had started out with the first goal in. I mean, I just really have to say that this is really a start-off to make an appearance for the second period. And nearing the midway mark wasn't always that easy. They really did all their shot as they could. Whenever nobody is watching, they definitely have to keep eyes on its shot and just keep things going. This is definitely what time does come by for their Ryan and groupmates. Here's Mateus at home. The race around now finding to Evan Bouchard, finding to McDavid in the cut of it, and a save by Dostal. At the start of the third period, as McDavid finds it over, the open look by Mateus Ekholm's taken by Spenek. The Oilers will regain the group as Savoy has it across the Bouchard. That will set out of the way, and it'll be an icing on the Edmonton Oilers. 17-18 in the third period. They're trying to wait out a little bit, and the thing about Connor Ingram, he made a huge, miraculous save, and he's showing it all. Yeah, he's been playing it so well, as everything is going to have to talk about. Connor Ingram, he really had to do all this most hit. No matter how hard he was able to scale it out, that was a great save that he done it on his own. A lot of big energy from the crowd here. Still the Oilers 2-1 over Anaheim. The win for the Anaheim Ducks. And here's Kapanen. For the Oilers, sends it around the net. Savoy right outside of it. Try to have the pass to Mateus Ekholm to give to Bouchard. Kapanen. He should save by Dostal. 16:46 in the third period. They'll have another puck drop to continue in the Anaheim territory. Here are the upcoming games here. As for tomorrow night's game, in game number 2, Hurricanes are battling the Sens in Ontario at Ottawa, as they definitely will be facing against the Sens at the Canadian Tire Century. That will be the first game here on the one side. Then the next game, we have it across on the other hand. We know another Eastern Conference matchup doesn't mean it's going to start appealing to it. And therefore, the next part of the game, as we have a little bit of a lot of discussions to give it through. And one thing is for sure enough, giving off to the Western Conference one, is the Golden Knights facing against the Mammoths at Delta Center. And then after that game, we got it's the Mighty Ducks and the Oilers at Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Then following along with the other side of the game, as he got 4 games the other way, as the Bruins will face against the Buffalo Sabres at TD Garden Arena. And on the other hand, we've got it all covered in and coming and down the action as the Avalanche take on the Kings at Crypto.com Arena. And after that game, we will have the other side of it back to the Eastern Conference. The Lightning face against the Canadiens at Bell Century Bell. And then the fourth part of the game, we've got a matchup to bring anybody in, the Wilds and the Stars at Grand Casino Arena in St. Paul, Minnesota. And there will be only one game that only changes it. Not to be anybody who is surprised, but the Flyers and the Penguins are only 1 games in at Xfinity Mobile Arena. Don't miss out the next part of the games, only on Centerpiece and to a future home of the SOB skating. Here the Ducks. Coffer to pass to Pulley. The shot, big save by Ingram. He looks over to Dickinson. He's on a rush. I'm into the groove. Oh, he just could try to get right to her to slick it out, but that stops on Lucas Dostal with 13:39 to go. I mean, I wasn't even sure if it was a big cut motion. Adam Pentucker is going to definitely change it out and over it. Draisaitl wins a draw. He finds to Evan Bouchard. He looks to Pakolzin. And back to Bouchard. He looks over to Draisaitl. He stops it. Chops out the stick from the defensive effort on the Ducks. Bouchard finding Ekholm. He looks to Draisaitl. Draisaitl moving in! Trying to tinker it, but it did not help. And glove save by Dostal. He'll give it off to Leo Carlson. Anaheim back in offense. In the Oilers' territory, but it's stopped by Matthias Ekholm. Kapanen will make a new line group change. Now here's another one to Draisaitl. Here they come! Stop by Dostal! 12:09 remaining in the third period. And they'll have another puck drop ready to go back in action. 49 over 22 shots on goal for Edmonton. The Anaheim Ducks need to find their answers to get it up and tie it again. Carlson wins the draw. Here's the other Carlson to send off to Zellweger. And Carlson has it to Sinek. Then a save by Connor Ingram. He'll find him into Ekholm to Savoy. He's up to Connor McDavid. Here comes McDavid. With a slick, he scores! Connor McDavid! That's where we were talking. 3-1. How about that? McDavid, he's a killer! Now, I have no circumstances of how that is going to happen with Connor McDavid. And watch Suzuki. He made this incredible ankle breaker. And that puts it over to have that one shooting percentage over by Dostal. And that one beats it off. It gets away with it. What a great reaction from the goaltender. And now as for McDavid, he made it easy and a piece of cake. As the Wind will put it in, as for the Oilers, we'll have it out. Now here's Hyman. Oh, he's going to try again this point. But this one is stopped by Dostal and is stopping on the pad save. And this one will send it over to Lacombe, again to Carlson. 11 minutes going by in the third period as Wallman will have it to pass off to Emberson. He looks off to McDavid. McDavid rushing to his wheels. McDavid will find Emberson who'll give it Wallman. Wallman fires a save by Dostal. Here in the midway mark in the third period, they'll have another puck drop ready to go in the Anaheim. I mean, this is a lot of energy from Connor McDavid. He is really all his target, and the better being is, it never sticks it out. Whenever I think about Connor McDavid, I mean, you have to believe on that. He's a big captain, and he loves it. Anything that you could definitely imagine it, and the only one thing happens with the ankle break, and he has done it all. That is right into an emotion. You have to see this about Connor McDavid. Everybody's going to give the credit for affairs to have it overrated. And maybe that's a fair credit because everybody loves Connor McDavid. While some of the fans say he considers to be overrated, but fans say it's just right. I mean, it's just right afterward. I mean, I don't even know if there's a competition going on with the other players and the Canadians between the offensive zone and those try would ever do better than that.
First goal in the postseason.
It can be like, you know, perfect enough or not really. That's why we all have to know about the Oilers. They're really looking for another goal.
Time to go, 8 minutes, 30 seconds in the third period. Connor
McDavid saving it again. And he's had a great night here. They are up by 2.
In the third period of playoffs.
The win for the Ducks. That's taken away by Dickinson. Past the midway mark for the Oilers back in the Anaheim territory. He'll fire that one around net to Nugent Hopkins. Hopkins finds it off to Emberson. He looks to Wallman. Wallman finding Dickinson. And that one goes off the defensive pad, and that will skate out of the zone. Regroup by Jake Wallman for the Oilers. Sends it deep to Roslovic. Roslovic waits it. Trying to get a new group change for Anaheim. And for Edmonton, here's Puck pulls in. Here's Murphy. He fires and he scores! That's making another strike. They're up for 3. Connor Murphy, first goal in the playoffs. Did you see that? There was no way to get the defender off. As Roslovic goes over to Murphy, that is a quick release. They're trying to get a lot of uncomfortable bleeding scores, and Murphy just has that speed across. For McDavid, it was off the glove, and he could not get it away with that. Murphy was really up to it, and he's up, and he's hyped it, and he's feeling like, yep, I'm up for it, and he got a great shot. That great goal only has to be Connor Murphy's score in his first playoff game of 11-17. Draisaitl wins the draw. The Oilers are now up for 3 as puck holds in. It's back to Granlund, and here's Terry. This one stops by Darnell Nurse. He looks over to puck holds in. And a pass made by Draisaitl. Draisaitl around the net. He finds it over to Nurse. Nurse looks to Kapanen. He looks over to Murphy. Tries to get to Draisaitl. A glove blocker stop made by Dostal. Under 8 minutes in the third period. And he'll get a breathing room, and we'll have another puck drop ready in the center box. Center slide in as Draisaitl looking for a win, and Poling will take over with the face-off win on the 50-50 chance percent. Poling right toward the wing. Behind the net is McTavish. Here's Jacob Trouba, shot blocked on Buckholzen. Here's Draisaitl. Sends it up around the net, and the Capitans behind the net.
It's what's going in the playoffs.
The time to Draisaitl. That is off of Lacombe with the block shot. This time Draisaitl will do it again. And a big save. 2 times. Stanley rebound by Kapanen. Oh, we could really have another regulation goal. That would be on Draisaitl. Fans would want to see that.
Time to go. 11 minutes, 17 seconds in the third period of the playoffs.
Oh, a big hit by Draisaitl.
First goal of the last, first goal of the game.
Up here, we'll have and Mason McTavish
in the third period. At 11 minutes, 17 seconds in the playoffs.
We'll give it to Savoy. Here come the Oilers. Savoy to Ekholm, broken by Lacombe. And broken by McDavid, and he's back on ice. You'll send it over to Hyman, back to McDavid. McDavid. Hyman. He fires it off the glove and rebounded by McDavid. Ekholm finding Bouchard. Bouchard knocks him down with the Anaheim Duck defenders. And we are rolling in with the 5-minute mark in the third period. Presented by Discover. An awesome save made by Connor Ingram. Oh, and a relentless battle hit right toward the boards. Play over to McDavid, and the pass is going too soon as Hyman tried to look for McDavid to have a one-time offer. Well, Gudas was really trying to have that smacking down, and as for Matthias Ekholm, he goes wiping. That is a Trulensis, and Gudas was really giving some Trulensis and a knockdown in the center box. That would really have to pay it out. A lot of time left for the Ducks. As for the Oilers, they stay up ahead. It's up by 3-4-1. Dickinson wins the draw. He looks to Murphy and gives it to Nurse. It's back to Leo Crossan. Murphy will have it against the Jack Rosselins. Swings it around the net and back to Nurse. He'll find it to Nugent Hopkins and get to Murphy. Murphy to Nugent Hopkins. Will stagger step here. Here's Dickinson. Back to Zellweger.
In the third period. In 1914.
Now a new line group change for the Anaheim Ducks. And Hopkins will take it over. He'll send it around the net and deep. Rebound by Zellweger. And we'll try to set a deep pass. That one puts a whack on it for Murphy and back to Nurse. Nurse back in Anaheim territory of the Ducks. Murphy looks to Nugent Hopkins. He shoots off the skater it goes and rebounded by Washi. He's got his first goal in the playoffs. He will try to swing it out and back to Nugent Hopkins. Well, that's only one way to have that one swinging it out. But sending it out is a great way, but he wanted to try to get away with that. Chris Kreider right toward the wing. Then back in the Oilers territory is Wallman. In his own entry is Henry. 2 minutes remaining in the third period. And Rosevich with a shot. That takes it off by Kreider and dodge. Got caught up by the defenders here, and Adam Henry will kick this over to Wallman. He back to Emerson. Emerson with a smackdown. And Kreider will have it send it off to Washe. Washe's shot and saved by Ingram. Outside Carlson, broken by Emerson. That reaches too soon. Carlson with the rebound. Down to a final stretch of the third period. And as the first game coming in, rolling down with a win for Anaheim, here's Sinecki. Sinecki moving across, and he scores. Wash gets his second goal in the playoffs. Their lead is back down by 2. Well, I don't think it's not going to happen because Only wash, he just definitely did the rebound, all he did. And just watching where outside of it goes and passing by Ingram, and that defender was going to get caught out by Bakolzin. That one really messes it up. And then whenever he tries to get the block, that one is getting it out of room. That really is going to have to put all his effort to get a second goal in playoffs. Now we'll send it over to Union Jackie, who had the best player of the night. Thanks, guys. It's Connor McDavid. He was really been up to sketch, and with this spectacular motion, the Oilers fans really have to make that incredible moment. I mean, really have to do all of it as he can. I'm really super excited to see this, but one thing is for sure that Connor McDavid has really been trying to do all of his effort and outstanding for the fans, and we are really sure enough that he can definitely try to keep playing it optimally for game number 2. And let's see how he can be able to hold this on for the second game. McDavid back to Kapanen. Kapanen swinging the driving miss, and Terry will have it out. Time's running out for the Ducks. He shoots and saved by Ingram, and that's going to end it. Edmonton Oilers will win it here. 4-2. Final score as they take the Ducks in the first game. Well, that one spoils it out. And I want to say Connor Ingram with a believable night.
Thank you, Oilers fans, for joining us for the first game of the playoffs of the Stanley Cup.
We give us the original fans as
join us for the
the Oilers rise this up.
Ducks and
That's where they're putting the lead down.
Official puck drop time will be at 9 p.m. So be sure to get here earlier before game time.
You would not believe
Have a good night, and we ask you to please drive home carefully and get home safely.
And forwards. Well, along my broadcast photo, along with Union Jackie, and along with Battery, I'm Terry Cruz. You've been watching the Stanley Cup playoffs of the NHL 26 on EA Sports. We hope you'll see you again soon, and thanks for joining us. Good night in Edmonton. All right, thanks, Terry. Time for 3-star players in the game. Third star starts with Bakolzin with 1 goal, 1 assist, and 2 hits. He only does this so to get a commercial credit to have that scoring in the drought, and that one skips over off the goaltender and it rolls back into the net. Your second star player of the game for the Ducks is Tim Washe with only 2 goals and 3 hits. That only does this for in the third period, so that way you could definitely try to tie that one up, but it won't be enough to get a lead-off close score game. And tonight's first star player goes to Connor Murphy with 1 goal, 2 assists, and 3 hits. 1-2-3 form. May not be 1 count, but only takes with a dramatical draw. Here's how they did after the period. 58 over 27 shots on goal for Edmonton over Anaheim. 35 over 29 hits for Anaheim. Then it was 17-45 for the Edmonton on a time on attack over 319. 89 over 84 percentage happens to be only with Anaheim Ducks. Then it was 24 over 20 face-off wins for Anaheim. And no power play goals as they both had too many penalty kills and too many power play minutes. Well, that's it. Second night is over, and hope you all enjoyed game 1. And stick around, we will be seeing you back soon for game number 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs for the first round. And if there is always a great game, if there is a win, they'll be moving on to the next round. And if there is a tie series, we go to game number 3, back where the other teams currently set up at a higher seed of their home. Well, thanks for joining with us, and along with my broadcasting partners, along with me, Silver Spoon, along with Boomer and me from 11, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you back again soon. So long, folks, for a while as the NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs 26 on EA Sports Style. Thank you, and good night. Thanks for watching, fellas.
If you don't, somebody will.